The rain fell heavily over Grey Manor, washing the city lights into blurred lines. Inside the large living room, a 9-year-old girl stood quietly near the stairs, holding a small schoolbag tightly to her chest. Her name was Luna Gray. She was thin, pale, and too silent for her age. Her eyes, dark and clear, watched everything carefully. In this house, silence was the only way she survived. On the sofa sat Emma Gray, her mother. She was elegant, wearing a silk dress, her makeup flawless even at home. Beside her sat another girl, around the same age as Luna. This girl wore a white dress, her hair neatly curled, her smile sweet and innocent. "This is Sophie Lynn," Emma said coldly. "She is my real daughter." The words struck Luna like a slap. Emma continued, her voice firm, as if announcing a business decision. "There was a mistake years ago. Sophie was taken away at birth. Now she's back." Luna's fingers trembled around the strap of her bag. "Mom, what does that mean?" Emma frowned. "Don't call me that anymore." Sophie looked at Luna, her eyes filled with fake curiosity. "So you're the girl who lived here all this time?" she asked softly. "You must feel lucky." Lucky. That night, Luna slept on the small storage room bed. Her bedroom had already been given to Sophie. From that day on, strange things began to happen. A diamond necklace disappeared from Emma's room. Sophie cried and pointed at Luna. "She went in there," Sophie said, her voice shaking. "I saw her." Luna tried to explain. "I didn't." Emma slapped her. "Stop lying," Emma said angrily. "You're jealous because Sophie is back." Later, Sophie fell down the stairs. She cried in pain, clutching her ankle. "It hurts so much." "Luna pushed me," she whispered. Luna stood frozen, unable to speak. Emma believed Sophie every time. Each accusation pushed Luna further into the shadows of the house. The servants began avoiding her. Whispers followed her everywhere. One evening, Sophie knocked on Luna's door. "Do you want to see something?" Sophie asked, smiling. Luna hesitated. "What?" "The truth," Sophie replied. She led Luna outside, toward the back of the estate. The rain had just started, the wind cold and sharp. Beyond the garden was a narrow path leading to a cliff. The city lights shimmered far below. Sophie stopped near the edge. "Do you know why Mom hates you?" Sophie said casually. Luna shook her head, fear rising in her chest. "Because you were never meant to be here," Sophie said. "I am the real daughter. You're just a mistake." "That's not true," Luna said, tears forming. "She raised me." Sophie laughed softly. "She raised you because she had no choice." Suddenly, footsteps approached. Emma appeared, holding an umbrella. Her face showed irritation, not concern. "What are you doing here in this weather?" Emma demanded. Before Luna could answer, Sophie screamed. "Don't push me," Sophie cried. In one quick movement, Sophie grabbed Luna's arm and twisted her own body backward. From Emma's angle, it looked exactly like Luna had shoved her. Emma's eyes widened in anger. "Luna, how could you?" "I didn't." Luna cried, trying to explain. Sophie pretended to lose balance. She stumbled, then reached out, pulling Luna with her. But Sophie stopped herself. Luna didn't. Time seemed to freeze. Luna looked back one last time. She saw her mother standing there, eyes wide, lips trembling. "Mom," Luna whispered. Emma took a step back. She did nothing. Luna fell. The wind screamed past her ears. Pain exploded through her body as darkness swallowed her whole. The next day, the newspapers reported. Gray family's adopted daughter dies in tragic accident. A small funeral was held. There was no body. Emma wore black. Sophie cried into her arms. "She was always unstable," Emma said quietly to the guests. "It was an accident." No one questioned it. No one searched further. But deep in the mountains, far from the city, a car stopped in front of a hidden medical cabin. A man stepped out. He was tall, wearing a dark coat, his face calm and unreadable. In his arms was a small, broken body, barely breathing. The man looked down at the girl. "So much hatred for a child," he said softly. He carried her inside. Hours later, Luna opened her eyes. The ceiling above her was unfamiliar. Her body ached everywhere. The man sat beside her bed. "You fell from a cliff," he said. "You should be dead." Luna's lips trembled. "Why am I alive?" The man looked into her eyes, seeing something sharp beneath the fear. "Because," he replied, "your story is not over." Outside, the storm finally stopped. And somewhere far away, the lie had already begun to grow. Luna drifted in and out of sleep for many days. Sometimes she dreamed of falling endless darkness, cold wind, her mother's face turning away. Other times, she dreamed of nothing at all. Just silence. When she finally woke fully, her body felt heavy, wrapped in pain. White curtains fluttered near the window. The air smelled of medicine and herbs. She tried to move. Pain shot through her ribs. "Don't move," a calm voice said. The man from before sat beside the bed. He wore simple clothes now, no longer the dark coat from that night. His eyes were steady, sharp, but not cruel. "Where am I?" Luna asked weakly. "A place where no one will find you," he replied. "You've been unconscious for 3 weeks." Her eyes widened. 3 weeks. You had multiple fractures. Internal bleeding. A cracked skull, he said plainly. "If I found you 1 minute later, you would have died." Luna swallowed. Her throat burned. "Why did you save me?" The man looked at her for a long moment. "Because I saw something familiar in your eyes," he said. Hatred held back by reason. She didn't understand, but she didn't ask. Days passed. Then weeks. Luna learned that the man's name was Master Chen. He lived deep in the mountains, far from the city. The cabin was small, but behind it stood a hidden compound, training rooms, a medical lab, a library filled with books. One afternoon, as Luna slowly walked outside with a cane, she asked the question that had been burning inside her. "Everyone thinks I'm dead," she said quietly. "Yes," Master Chen replied. "My mother, she didn't look for me." "No." Saying the word hurt more than the fall. Luna clenched her fists. "Why?" Master Chen's voice was calm, but firm. "Because some people love power more than blood." That night, Luna cried silently under her blanket. No one comforted her. No one stopped her. When the tears dried, something inside her changed. Months later, her body healed. Master Chen brought her to a large training room. "If you stay," he said, "your life will never be normal." Luna looked at him. "If I leave, I have no life at all." He nodded. "Good. Then we begin." The training was brutal. At dawn, Luna ran until her legs trembled. She learned discipline before strength. When she complained, Master Chen said nothing. When she collapsed, he waited until she stood again. She learned medicine, how to stop bleeding, how to read vital signs, how to save a life with limited tools. She learned psychology, how people lie, how fear changes behavior, how guilt hides in small movements. She learned law, not justice, but loopholes. "Law is a weapon," Master Chen said. "Use it better than your enemies." At night, she studied business cases, financial frauds, corporate crimes. She learned how powerful people fell not from anger, but from greed. Years passed. At 15, Luna stopped crying in her sleep. At 17, she could read a person's intention in seconds. At 19, she asked, "When can I go back?" Master Chen poured tea calmly. "When you can destroy them without touching them." At 21, she stopped calling Emma mother even in her mind. At 21, she read the old news article again. Grey family's adopted daughter dies in tragic accident. She stared at the word dies. "I don't exist," Luna said. Master Chen nodded. "Exactly." They erased her past. Her fingerprints were removed from public systems. Her school records disappeared. Her name became nothing more than a rumor. She was given a new identity. Luna Shaw. No connection. No history. "Clean," Master Chen said. "From today on, Luna Gray is truly dead." Luna looked at her reflection in the mirror. Taller. Stronger. Her eyes were cold, steady, unreadable. "Revenge?" she asked quietly. Master Chen shook his head. Revenge is short-lived. Karma lasts longer. He leaned closer. You will not destroy them directly. You will let them destroy themselves. One winter night, 12 years after the fall, Luna stood at the mountain gate. A black car waited. The city lights glowed far away, just like that night. Master Chen handed her a phone. Your first case is already waiting. She bowed deeply. Thank you, for giving me a second life. Master Chen replied calmly, no. You took it yourself. As the car drove down the mountain road, Luna looked ahead, not back. Somewhere in the city, Sophie Lin laughed at a luxury party. Somewhere else, Emma Gray enjoyed her perfect life. Neither of them knew. The dead girl was coming home. The city had not changed. Glass towers still cut into the sky. Neon lights still reflected on wet streets. Wealth still moved quietly behind tinted windows. But Luna had changed. The black car stopped in front of a 5-star hotel. Luna stepped out wearing a simple grey coat. No jewelry. No makeup beyond light foundation. She looked calm, ordinary, forgettable. That was exactly what made her dangerous. Inside the hotel, panic filled the lobby. Security guards rushed back and forth. Phones rang non-stop. A tall man in a dark suit stood near the elevators, his face pale with anger. Mr. Wright, someone whispered nervously, the kidnappers just sent another message. The man was Daniel Wright, one of the city's most powerful businessmen. His assistant turned and saw Luna approaching. Who are you? The assistant demanded. Luna handed over a card. Crisis Strategy Consultant, Luna Shaw. I'm here to solve your problem, Luna said calmly. Daniel frowned. I didn't ask for you. You didn't, Luna replied. But your enemies did. Daniel froze. What do you mean? Luna looked toward the security cameras. This is not a kidnapping. It's a test. Your son is safe. The room fell silent. Daniel stared at her. You're guessing. No, Luna said. I'm calculating. She walked to a screen showing CCTV footage. The kidnappers never asked for money. They only sent photos, no proof of time. That means your son isn't under threat. She turned. Someone wants to scare you. To force you into a bad business decision. Daniel's expression changed. Within 30 minutes, Luna traced the source of the messages, identified a rival company, and exposed the staged plan. Daniel's son was found at a private training camp, unharmed. That night, Daniel sat across from Luna in a private lounge. You saved my family, he said seriously. Name your price. Luna shook her head. I don't need money. Then what do you want? A favor, she replied. When the time comes. Daniel studied her carefully. You're not ordinary. No, Luna agreed. I'm useful. Within days, news spread quietly among the elite. There was a woman who solved impossible problems. A woman who didn't threaten, only predicted outcomes. Meanwhile, across the city, Sophie Lin stood in front of a mirror, adjusting a diamond necklace. She was beautiful, famous, and admired. Social media adored her. She was known as the perfect heiress. Miss Sophie, her assistant said, entering the room, there's a new consultant everyone's talking about. Sophie glanced up. Another fraud. They say she helped Daniel Wright. Sophie smiled dismissively. Luck. At the Gray family mansion, Emma Gray sipped tea, reading financial news. A headline caught her eye. Daniel Wright restructures company after crisis. Emma frowned slightly. Strange. She didn't know why, but an uncomfortable feeling crept into her chest. That evening, Luna stood across the street from Gray Manor. The house looked exactly the same. Lights glowed warmly inside. Laughter echoed faintly. Luna watched silently. Is this nostalgia? She murmured. No. It was observation. She began moving carefully. A small anonymous report reached tax authorities about inconsistencies in a charity fund Emma managed. Nothing serious. Just enough to start a review. At the same time, Sophie received an invitation to a high-level investment dinner one Luna had arranged through Daniel's influence. At the dinner, Sophie tried to impress everyone. She spoke confidently, repeating information she barely understood. Luna sat quietly at the corner table. Sophie noticed her. Their eyes met for the first time in 12 years. Sophie felt a strange chill. "Who is that?" she whispered to a friend. "No idea," the friend replied. "But people are listening to her." Later, during a discussion about market risks, Sophie interrupted. "That investment is perfectly safe," Sophie said confidently. Luna spoke softly. "No, it isn't." The room turned toward her. "The company hides debt through shell accounts," Luna continued calmly. "Their collapse will start within 6 months. An investor frowned. "That's a serious claim." Luna slid a document forward. "Proof." Silence followed. The investors slowly pulled away from Sophie. Sophie's smile froze. That night, Sophie stared at herself in the mirror. For a moment, she whispered, "I felt like she knew me." Across the city, Leo Park, a police consultant, reviewed an old cold case file. "Child death, Luna Gray." He paused. "Strange," he muttered. "No body. No thorough investigation." His phone rang. "Leo," his colleague said, "have you heard of a woman named Luna Shaw?" Leo frowned. "Why?" "She's appearing around major cases. Too precise. Too clean." Leo leaned back, staring at the old photo of a 9-year-old girl. Two faces overlapped in his mind. Outside his office window, city lights flickered. And karma began to move. The first crack appeared quietly. Emma Gray sat in her office, staring at the letter in her hands. The words were polite, formal, and dangerous. Notice of financial review. Her charity foundation, built to polish her public image, was under inspection. "This is ridiculous," Emma snapped, throwing the letter onto the desk. "We've done nothing wrong." Her assistant hesitated. "They say it's routine, but someone filed a detailed report." Emma's fingers tightened. Detailed meant intentional. For the first time in years, Emma felt uneasy. Across town, Sophie Lynn paced her luxury apartment, heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. Her phone buzzed non-stop, missed calls from investors, unread messages from friends who suddenly sounded distant. "She ruined me," Sophie muttered, gripping her phone. At the dinner party, that woman Luna Shaw had destroyed her credibility in minutes. Sophie had replayed the scene in her head 100 times. Calm voice. Clear facts. No emotion. It was humiliating. "Find everything about her," Sophie ordered her assistant over the phone. "Background, school, family. I want dirt." "Yes, Miss Sophie." But the results came back empty. No history. No scandals. Nothing before 5 years ago. Sophie felt her skin crawl. No one is that clean. Luna sat in a quiet cafe, reading the news on her tablet. The charity review had begun. Exactly on schedule. She sipped her coffee slowly. "Karma," she murmured, "always starts with discomfort." Her phone rang. Daniel Wright's name appeared. "I hear Emma Gray is under investigation," he said. "Is that coincidence?" Luna smiled faintly. "Nothing important happens by accident." Daniel chuckled, then turned serious. "If you ever need resources." "I know," Luna interrupted gently. "That's why I saved your son." She ended the call and looked up. Across the street, a man stood watching the cafe. Leo Park. He wasn't hiding. He didn't need to. Luna met his gaze calmly. Interesting, she thought. Leo sat down across from her without asking. "You don't mind?" he asked. "I would have stopped you if I did," Luna replied. He studied her face. "You appear at major incidents. You predict outcomes before they happen. You leave no trail." "Sounds like a compliment." "It's not," Leo said. "It's suspicious." Luna tilted her head slightly. "Then why are you here?" Leo pulled out a photo and placed it on the table. A grainy image of a cliff. Rain. Police tape. "Do you remember this case?" he asked. Luna glanced at it briefly. Her expression didn't change. "Many children die every year," she said. "Which one are you referring to?" Leo leaned forward. A girl named Luna Gray. Declared dead 12 years ago. No body recovered. Silence stretched between them. Then Luna smiled, soft, unreadable. Detective, she said, if you're chasing ghosts, you'll miss the living criminals. Leo watched her closely. You speak like someone who's buried the past. Luna stood. Or someone who learned from it. As she walked away, Leo didn't stop her. But his suspicion deepened. That evening, Emma attended a charity banquet. Cameras flashed. Smiles were forced. As she raised her glass, she suddenly felt dizzy. Her heart raced. Her breath shortened. She looked around, confused. For a split second, she thought she saw a familiar face in the crowd. A young woman. Calm eyes. Watching her. Emma blinked. The woman was gone. Emma's hand trembled. Later that night, Emma received a private message requesting a meeting. No name. No company. Only an address. Against her better judgment, she went. The location was a quiet tea house. Luna sat inside, waiting. Emma froze when she saw her. Something about the woman's posture, her eyes. Do I know you? Emma asked stiffly. Luna poured tea calmly. You don't remember me. Emma frowned. Then why did you ask to meet? To discuss your foundation, Luna said gently. You moved funds through 3 shell accounts. Emma's face hardened. You have no proof. Luna slid a folder across the table. Emma opened it. Her breath caught. How? I help people avoid disaster, Luna said. Or face it. Emma looked up sharply. What do you want? Luna met her eyes. I want you to keep lying, she said. Emma was confused. What? Continue pretending you're perfect. Continue denying everything, Luna said softly. The higher you stand, the harder you fall. Emma felt a chill crawl up her spine. Who are you? She demanded. Luna stood, her chair scraping softly against the floor. Someone you abandoned once, she replied. Emma's heart skipped. Before she could speak, Luna had already walked out. The next morning, headlines exploded. Grey charity funds frozen pending investigation. Emma's phone rang endlessly. Sophie screamed as her endorsement deals were cancelled one by one. And Leo Park stood in front of his evidence board, staring at 2 names written side by side. Luna Gray. Luna Shaw. They're connected, he whispered. Outside, rain began to fall again. Just like 12 years ago. And this time, no one would look away. The rain didn't stop for 3 days. It was as if the city itself was remembering. Emma Gray sat alone in her study, the curtains drawn, lights off. Her phone lay on the desk, finally silent after hours of non-stop calls. Banks had frozen her accounts. Friends had stopped answering. Even the charity board had issued a public statement distancing themselves from her. For the first time in years, Emma felt powerless. A knock echoed through the room. She flinched. Who is it? Me, a calm female voice replied. Emma's heart skipped. The door opened. Luna stepped inside. No disguise. No politeness. No smile. Emma stood up abruptly. You again? I told security. I dismissed them, Luna said calmly. They listen when I speak. Emma stared at her, fear now clearly visible. What do you want from me? Luna walked slowly toward the desk. Every step felt heavy, like a countdown. I want you to remember, Luna said. Remember what? Emma snapped, forcing herself to sound strong. Luna placed an old hairpin on the table. Emma's eyes widened. It was small, silver, bent slightly at the edge. I made this for her, Emma whispered without thinking. When she was little. The room went silent. Emma's breath grew uneven. Where did you get that? Luna's voice lowered. You watched her fall with this in her hair. Emma staggered back. No, that's impossible, she said shakily. She's dead. Luna looked straight at her. I survived, she said simply. Emma's knees weakened. She collapsed into the chair, staring at Luna's face, those eyes she had once seen every morning. Luna. Emma whispered. Luna did not answer. Tears streamed down Emma's face. I thought. I thought you died. You thought wrong, Luna replied coldly. You chose not to look. Emma shook her head desperately. I was confused. Sophie said. Sophie lied, Luna interrupted. And you believed her because it was convenient. Each word struck like a blade. I was 9, Luna continued. I called for you. Emma covered her mouth, sobbing. I didn't push Sophie, Luna said quietly. But you pushed me away long before that night. Emma fell to her knees. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'll make it right. I'll tell everyone the truth. Luna's gaze hardened. No, she said. Emma looked up, stunned. No. You don't get redemption, Luna said calmly. You get consequence. She turned and walked away. Behind her, Emma screamed her name. But Luna didn't stop. Across the city, Sophie Lynn was unraveling. Her apartment was a mess, broken glass, scattered papers, designer bags thrown across the floor. They're all betraying me. Sophie screamed into the phone. I didn't do anything wrong. Her assistant's voice trembled. Miss Sophie, the police are here. The doorbell rang sharply. When Sophie opened the door, officers stepped inside. You're under arrest, one said. For fraud, false reporting, and attempted murder. Sophie's face turned white. This is a setup, she screamed. That woman, Luna Shaw, she did this. At the police station, Sophie was interrogated for hours. Finally, a man entered the room. Leo Park. He placed a photo on the table. A cliff. Rain. A terrified little girl. Do you recognize this? Leo asked. Sophie's lips trembled. You framed Luna Gray, Leo continued. You pushed her. Sophie laughed suddenly, her eyes wild. She was in my way. That life was supposed to be mine, so you admit it. Leo said calmly. Sophie froze. Too late. The confession broke everything. News exploded. Heiress Sophie Lynn arrested for attempted murder. Gray family scandal reopens child death case. Emma was summoned for questioning. Cameras surrounded her as she entered the station. She looked older. Smaller. Inside the interrogation room, Leo sat across from her. Why didn't you search for your daughter's body? He asked. Emma stared at the table. Because, if she was dead, I could move on. Leo closed the file slowly. Outside, Luna watched the live broadcast on a large screen. Her face showed no emotion. Leo walked up beside her. It's over, he said quietly. Luna shook her head. No. It's complete. Leo studied her. You planned everything. I waited 12 years, Luna replied. Justice takes patience. Leo hesitated. What will you do now? Luna looked up at the grey sky. I'll live, she said. That's the punishment they can never escape. As police cars drove away, Luna turned and walked into the crowd. This time, no one noticed her. But everyone would remember what followed. Because karma had finally found its way home. The courtroom was silent. Every seat was filled. Cameras waited outside, hungry for the final collapse of the Gray family scandal. This was the case everyone was watching: the fallen charity queen, the fake heiress, the child who was supposed to be dead. Emma Gray sat at the defendant's table. Her hair was no longer perfectly styled. Her hands shook slightly as she clasped them together. Across the room, Sophie Lynn sat behind glass, her face pale, eyes hollow. The once famous smile was gone. The judge entered. The trial began. Evidence was presented one by one. Financial records. Witness statements. Sophie's confession. The re-examined Cliff investigation. Every lie that had once protected them now turned into a chain around their necks. Emma listened as the prosecutor spoke. Emma Gray knowingly concealed evidence, abused guardianship, and obstructed justice in the case of Luna Gray. Emma closed her eyes. She saw that night again. The rain. The wind. The small hand slipping from the edge. I didn't mean to kill her, Emma whispered. But intention no longer mattered. Then the judge said, call the final witness. The courtroom doors opened. Luna stepped inside. A low murmur rippled through the room. She wore a simple white shirt and black coat. No luxury. No fear. She walked calmly to the witness stand. Emma looked up. Their eyes met. Emma's lips trembled. Luna. Luna did not respond. Do you swear to tell the truth? The clerk asked. I do, Luna said. The prosecutor asked gently, Miss Shaw, also known as Luna Gray, can you describe what happened 12 years ago? Luna took a breath. She did not cry. She did not raise her voice. She spoke clearly. I was framed, Luna said. I was accused of crimes I did not commit. On the night of the incident, Sophie Lynn pushed me toward the cliff. My mother witnessed it. Emma broke down sobbing. She chose not to save me, Luna continued. She chose silence. The courtroom was completely still. The prosecutor nodded. No further questions. The defense stood quickly. Miss Luna, after everything that happened, do you hate your mother? Luna paused. This was the question everyone waited for. She looked toward Emma one last time. I don't hate her, Luna said calmly. Hate requires attachment. The words cut deeper than any scream. I only acknowledge the truth, Luna continued. And I accept the result. She stepped down from the stand. The verdict came swiftly. Sophie Lynn was sentenced for attempted murder and fraud. Emma Gray was found guilty of obstruction, financial crimes, and child abandonment. As the gavel struck, Emma collapsed into her chair. Karma had arrived. Outside the courthouse, reporters rushed forward. Miss Luna, do you feel satisfied? Is this revenge? Will you forgive your mother? Luna stopped. She turned toward the cameras. This was never revenge, she said calmly. This was justice. Justice doesn't need anger. It only needs truth. She walked away. Weeks later, the city moved on. New scandals replaced old ones. But some things quietly changed. Luna returned to her work as a crisis consultant. She saved companies from collapse, protected families from destruction, and exposed crimes before they happened. Her name became legend among the elite. Not loud. Not flashy. Unavoidable. One evening, she met Leo Park at a quiet riverside cafe. You could have destroyed them earlier, Leo said. Why wait? Luna looked at the flowing water. Because suffering without understanding is meaningless. They needed to know why they fell. Leo smiled faintly. And you? I needed to know I could let go. Leo stood. Will you disappear again? Luna shook her head. No. I'm done hiding. High in the mountains, Luna visited a familiar cabin. Master Chen stood waiting. You finished, he said. Yes, Luna replied. And now? Luna looked at the sky. Now I choose my life. Master Chen nodded. That is the highest form of justice. Luna bowed deeply. As she walked back down the mountain path, sunlight broke through the clouds. The past no longer followed her. The child who fell from the cliff was gone. In her place stood a woman who had mastered pain, power, and karma. Justice had been served. Not with blood, but with truth.